Good afternoon, good evening. My name is LaVelle,
And I'm Cami.
and this is Beauty and Wellness for Your Everyday Life. Welcome again this week. Um, we want to thank you for coming out last week, and we want to go ahead and share some more information with you today. So, today I am going to be sharing my uh, results, and not necessarily results, but my experience with taking the COVID-19 test, and I'm going to go over some observations today. And Cami, what are you going to talk about today?
Well, we did have some people ask about the Thieves Oil that we talked about last week. So if you want to hear what we talked about that last week, I'm going to explain it a little more today. You can go back and watch that video as well. But I'm going to be touching on that, and we're going to be interacting on some things that you're going to share with us this week.
Yes. Okay. So yes, I did go ahead, and I know some people are curious about the COVID test. So I want to just let everyone know I did take the test because I'm going home to see my mama. It's her birthday coming up. So I said, let me go ahead and take this test. And you just want to get over that fear of the unknown. I know I did because I was sick a couple weeks ago with a sinus infection. So I just wanted to know for myself. So basically, what you do, at least in the state of Georgia, because I do have a bone to pick with Indiana, because I did look up in Indiana right now, it looks like June 12th, they just passed it so everyone can actually take the test, but you can only live there or work there. You can live out of state, but you have to either work there or live there. So I'm trying to, I got to call and follow up with them because I called today and the one was like, no, I'm just reading the manual. And so I'm like, if people drive through Indiana all the time. And if you're stopping to see family, why wouldn't you let them get a test? But okay, that's another subject. So I'll find out about that. But so what you do, for at least for the state of Georgia, if you feel everyone can get the test. So if you go on the website, you can do a search for COVID test in your county, and it pulls up the information. So it happened to be in my county, there's 2 locations. So one was actually in a park, and it's a drive-through. So you go online, you put your name, you don't even have to put your insurance information in. I know that CVS is doing those tests now in their Minute Clinic, and I think it's everywhere pretty much, but you have to put your insurance information in. So I just thought it was easier to go ahead with the park, where it was just free. You put your name and you just list if you have any of the symptoms that you have, and they go accordingly to the most severe symptoms. They'll book you pretty quick. But my symptoms were pretty mild, but I still got a text that day, like say I booked or scheduled it that afternoon, probably I think about 1 or 2, and around 6 o'clock that evening, I got a text message say, come here tomorrow between 9 and 10 a.m. And I thought that was great that it was a quick turnaround. So you go and there's a drive-through, they have the cones. It almost looks like you're taking a driver's ed test, but you have the cones and you're just waiting. So at the time, there weren't a lot of cars there, maybe about 6. So my wait time probably was about 15 minutes. And so you go up and you're nervous and you're not knowing what to expect, but the nurse comes in her PPE and she says, okay, this is what we're going to do. She said, do you know about this test? I said, I know that you're going to go pretty far up in the nose and that I'm tear up. She said, yeah, most likely you're going to tear up. So I was like, okay, here we go. But you don't want to hold your breath, because she said, try to breathe through your mouth, because if you tense up, it tightens the muscles, your sinuses inside, and it makes it harder to go through. And I will say, I did take a breath and start to relax, but I will tell you, it goes far. It does feel like it feels like it's going to your brain, but it for me, I actually know someone that took the test actually today, and they didn't have any burning or any tearing at all. But for me, probably because I was getting over a sinus infection, I never had a swab all the way up there. But I did have a little bit of a burning sensation. It was in my left nostril, and then I kept my eyes closed, and it was tearing. It lasted about 30 seconds. It felt like a minute. It felt like at that moment, it felt like a long period of time. But afterwards, I had my tissue, and because you have to drive off and you want to be able to see. But actually, I just had to keep my eye closed for a few seconds, and then drive off, and the tears were gone. And then after you start driving, it doesn't even feel like you just took that test. So if you're able to take the test, or if you feel, just because a lot of times we have to get out, we may not want to get out. Some of us are back to work. Some of us are going to the store or having to take care of some errands. And there's some people that are out there that are just not wearing their mask. I know that I've had a couple of instances where people are trying to walk up on you, and you're in line, and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, back up a minute, hold up. I had to tell. I had to turn around and say, can you move back, or you back up? I mean, some people are not even giving you your personal space.
The 6 feet.
Even before even COVID happened, people, sometimes want to get in your personal space, but people are in not even in a good distance. They're in your personal space. Like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm like, So like the song says, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. So, but I do recommend everyone get a test if possible, if they can.
Okay. I might get one. I'm over here about to tear up. Just
whatever nostril it goes up, that it flows. Like, I don't know. Like I said, the person that I know that got it today didn't have any of that. It was like they were good. So, but I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I don't want to use this analogy because I don't want to stop people from going to get a test. I was like, are they rubbing my brain? But it's not.
Your tear duct.
Let me stop. But no, and actually, I think I have. Let me see if I have a. I don't think. No, I thought I had a slide. Oh, I do. Well, no, I don't have a slide.
I wish you could have recorded it a little bit.
I know, because you could. They actually had a sign in front, no filming, but because probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had. I was so close up. Like, if I was farther back, I know the person that I know that took the test, they were so far back today. This is in DeKalb County, that they were so far back that they could film some of it, but they got through pretty quickly, they said. But with me, I was able to drive up to, there's 3 people. The first person was like, okay, directing you. And then that sign was right there, said no filming or no camera. So
oh wow, that's actually interesting. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not getting one, right? And here's the thing. I understand why you got one. You're going to see your mom, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like everybody's not doing the nostril swab. Right. Some people, and I'm not telling anybody not to get one. If you feel like you need to get one, if you're feeling some symptoms or whatever the case may be, make your decision for yourself. Yeah. Right. Because I feel I'm wearing a mask. I'm boosting my immune system. I already told y'all about the Thieves Oil. And yeah, I'm not doing it unless I absolutely have to. And I pray to the Lord that I do not have to. But since I said something about the Thieves Oil, let me just go ahead and tell them that right quick.
Yeah, break that down.
So the Thieves Oil, and not necessarily the word Thieves Oil, but that's what it used to be called. So now there's a company that has taken that name, Thieves Oil, but that's not absolutely where you have to get it. And you can actually if you want to mix some of this together, you can get it as a blend. Some people like do it yourselves. So the basic recipe with that, the basic recipe is going to be a blend of clove oil, lemon oil, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. There are absolutely variations of that. It is a company that uses orange instead of lemon. It's a company that uses lime. It's a company that uses oregano, but those are the main ingredients. You would absolutely need to mix that with a carrier oil, right? So what I do is that for the actual oil itself, the one that I use, I will put it on the bottom of my feet because those are our largest pores, and that's going to get into your system within 30 seconds. So that's me. 10 toes down, the bottom up, cover me. And I pray as well. And then the spray, there, you can make any oil like that into a spray. I have that will be like actually a good recipe for a good natural hand sanitizer. But that is what I use to spray my mask, is what I was talking about yesterday. And I know somebody asked about that, so I just wanted to break that down. It's probably going to be easier if you go ahead and buy one of the blends, but at least you know what to look for. Make sure that they are good essential oils. Make sure that it is organic. It's going to say organic. It's going to say therapeutic grade, because you don't want any extra solvents in it that they cut the essential oils with to begin with. So that is it. We want to stay covered. We want to boost. Me and LaVelle was talking about the other day, speaking of that, how people, this one person, I don't know the whole story. You know what I'm talking about? D.L. Hughley.
Yes, got COVID.
So if y'all haven't seen that video, he said that he didn't have any symptoms. He didn't have a fever. And they told him that he was asymptomatic. And I think that sometimes this is one of the things that I talk to my clients about, and people who I talk to this about, is that if they say he was asymptomatic, meaning that he didn't have any symptoms, but he was dehydrated. He admitted that he was extremely dehydrated. So with that is going to weaken his immune system. And he had to be extremely dehydrated because he passed out. So things that you do that's going to weaken your immune system is going to open you up to stuff like that. So that's why it's very important to give yourself an extra boost. It's so many different things out there that you can do. I do a couple of them. I know LaVelle does a couple of them. We switch what you're doing. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna switch, just like with everything else, you switch it up. But we've been doing stuff like that anyway, because I'm not trying to get COVID. I'm not trying to get the flu, because the other thing that they're not talking about, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox, is the flu that people are getting, and people are dying from the flu as well. So that's a whole nother can of worms. Maybe we'll revisit that later. But you just basically want to boost your personal immune system. What's going on with you could be different from somebody else, and do that accordingly. So if you don't know where to start, you can reach out to me on social media. We're going to have that down at the bottom. But just to know, basic stuff. So it's going to depend on what's going on with you. But generally speaking, everybody, whether you feel like you have symptoms or not, because think about it, with a regular cold, by the time you feel that little tickle in your throat, you're already at 65%. And most people, when they feel that tickle in their throat, they don't do anything. Let me clear my, you hear that? Hear me clear my throat? Yeah, I'm doing something. And that's the mindset you have. It's not like a fear thing. It's like, if my body is trying to fight something off, I'm going to help it. Period. So,
and we're so used to that. And I'm like, when I knew my sinus infection was, when I was feeling that fatigue, normally I know when I start feeling fatigue or tired, I said, something's not right. So let me get my zinc, vitamin C, elderberry, get that real quick. And I want to touch back real quick on what you said about DL. You know how I was able to tell that he was dehydrated, and I noticed that because I watch him a lot. Under his eyes, that's the kidneys. So right there, I knew that he was dehydrated. So
well, and if you look at, well, you know, the whole face mapping thing, but if you're in the health and wellness, like LaVelle is going to know, look at stuff differently than I look at stuff. But, you know, and not using him as an example, but
we love DL. Yeah.
Who it is. Everybody can see that video. If you look at his face in that video, just looking at him, even if that didn't happen, you would know that that's not how he normally looks, and it was some stuff going on because he had like a lot of puffiness that he normally doesn't have, and it was more than him being tired. And you're right, because I did look at that. You know, most people know if it's darkness under here, the kidneys, but what about if it's puffy?
Puffy, yeah.
If it's other stuff.
It's that retention of that water, because it's like, I need water. So, yeah. So, yeah.
What is it, LaVelle?
I need water. I need water. I need water. Need some agua. Yes, cheers. Right there. So,
it's very important for you to listen to your body. You have to listen to your body. People say this. I'm just going to talk about you know how I feel about the whole headache and aspirin thing. Yeah. So this is something for your everyday life. Like everybody, if you're at work, everybody has had a headache before, right? And so it's average. But when you have a headache, your body is trying to tell you something. And we're so busy today, and especially with technology, we're not thinking about what is my body trying to tell me. Usually people are popping some type of pain reliever to get rid of it. And I get that, but you still need to think about what is going on with your body for you to have a headache, right? Because your body's trying to tell you something. Then if you didn't know this, when you take something for your headache, that doesn't make your headache go away. It thins your blood so you don't feel it. Right? So if we get into the habit of listening to our body instead of ignoring it, you're not going to say, oh no, he was perfectly fine, he just fell over and died. No. That's not the case. His body or their body was giving them some type of signals. We just weren't listening. So that's something that you can do for your own body every day. If you have a headache, right? I'm not saying don't take anything for it, right? But think about, am I hungry because, am I hungry? I'm hungry.
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry. Do I have a headache because I'm staring at the computer? Am I thirsty? Do I need to eat? Things like that. And try to narrow it down to get to the root of it. And if you're at work, still take it if you need to get through the day. But try to remedy whatever it is.
Right.
Because your body is trying to tell you something.
Right.
And you need to listen.
Right. And like you said about thirst, if we're at the point where we're thirsty, and we're all guilty of that, we're thirsty, we're already dehydrated if we're thirsty. So it's something. So yeah. So are there any other oils that you recommend besides Thieves Oil? What are a couple other top ones that you like for immunity?
Well, Thieves Oil is a blend, so that's a good one. Y'all know I talked about frankincense on the other one. I would say lavender. Lavender is a good universal oil. Everybody could probably, except for pregnant women in their first trimester, I would say if you're pregnant in your first trimester, stay away from lavender. But other than that, most people can use lavender. Because everybody thinks of lavender as relaxing and stuff like that. But the truth is, lavender gives your body what it needs. But the truth behind that is what everybody thinks is relaxing, because everybody's tense, everybody's stressed out, and everybody needs sleep. So if it gives your body what it needs, you're going to be sleepy. It's going to release tension in your body. Right. So definitely lavender. I love citrusy ones.
Me too.
I would say after lavender, helichrysum So helichrysum is a more expensive one, but helichrysum is one that's going to be good for skin, right? The nickname is liquid stitches. You can't beat that. So I did try it out one time. I had like a cut. It wasn't a big cut. It needs stitches, but because it said liquid stitches, I put a little bit on the, I can't see this. I put a little bit on my finger, and I kind of put a Band-Aid on it to hold it together. Because my thought was, okay, if they call this liquid stitches, if I have a cut, because the thing we want to do is heal back together faster, and it did. So I have that in my arsenal. I got a lot of them.
There's so many, because
it
that you can use for so many different things, and you can go back and forth with different things. So I agree with that. And
peppermint is pretty universal.
Yeah.
It's like I have a list of like 102 things.
Yeah.
Of what to do with peppermint. If somebody wants that, they can comment below. I can, get that out to them. But if you're just getting started, peppermint is a good one. Thieves Oil, I'm just gonna say Thieves Oil right now.
That's number one.
Of the Thieves Oil, just because that's what we're looking to do, build your immunity.
That immunity, yeah.
And the prices are gonna differ. Frankincense is a more expensive one. Myrrh, I love. Like the frankincense and myrrh together, like they work together. I love those two. And you're not gonna have to use a lot, because myrrh is thick. So you're just gonna be using a little bit. I love castor oil. Cold pressed castor oil, y'all. Don't leave home without it. I'm trying to tell y'all. So I know these things might sound geeky to people, but really, just do one. Take it in baby steps, because the more that you add into your everyday life, you're going to do it without thinking about it, because we didn't start doing all these things overnight that we do.
Right. It's been years. We've been doing it for years. I remember, I think I got my first kit like at 20. So that's been a long time, just experimenting and making those oils and everything. So and
because I will rub some peppermint, some ginger on my stomach. Oh, let me tell y'all this is what I do, y'all. This is what I do. I'm not telling you to do it. This is what I do. I'm a person, I love ginger ale. I do. But the ones in the store have way too much sugar.
Right. And no ginger.
That's a whole nother thing. I had like me and somebody, I was like, look at the ingredients, there is no ginger. But now on certain brands, who shall remain nameless, they don't put a little sprinkle of ginger in there now. But so what I did for me is that I like ginger ale. But the ones that I were finding, they were good, but they had way too much sugar. So what I did was I got me some natural sparkling water. And I put a drop or two of ginger essential oil. That's why I said make sure it's a good one. If you want to know what a good one is, you're gonna I'm gonna have to send it to you. Research it, but
go to your website.
I just don't want to,
Right.
Anyway, so I put a drop of 2. If I put 2 drops, y'all know I love me some ginger. Shook it up. Shook it up and in a glass with essential oils. That's important too. And drink it. Put some ice in it and drink it. That's ginger ale right there. No sugar. You know what I mean? You're getting the fizz, and you're also getting the soothing benefits of ginger. But I use ginger in my smoothies too. But that raw ginger.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Or get raw ginger, but we're talking about essential oils, so that is a good one to have.
Right. That's good. That's excellent. That is excellent. So if you have any questions for Cami, we will make sure to have her contact information so you can contact her about any essential oils on that. And we want to, I know it's the end of the month, And I do have all there. We want to recognize June. It's the end of June, but there's Health Awareness Month for different things that were going on. So we want to recognize Alzheimer's disease, sickle cell, safety month, HIV testing, brain awareness month, men's month, scoliosis month, National Cancer Survivor Day was on June 7th. So shout out to all the cancer survivors out there. And we're rolling into July. July is recognized as Juvenile Arthritis Month, World Hepatitis Day, and Eye Injury Prevention Month as well. So those are some the recognitions for June and July. And every time the month rolls around, I will shout those out. Just like you want to make sure to go, I will be putting July's fresh produce and vegetables and fruits out on the 1st. So make sure you check that out and follow Love Your Skin and Health for that. And so that's what I got going on today. Anything else?
I just wanted to say that was interesting. Juvenile Arthritis Month. Wow. You know what that means? Well, when I hear stuff like that, but I'm a health coach, so I might think a little different from people. To me, that is saying how much more sugar that we're consuming as a nation if we have to have a month recognizing juveniles with arthritis. Because, sugar and inflammation go hand in hand. So I know that adults are, or we are as the United States is in general, but wow, juvenile.
Yeah, I don't know, because I that's one thing I don't know if there's anything that's hereditary with that. There's just, I don't know. But at that age, when we grew up, you never heard that.
It's this is my opinion, y'all, but I really think it's definitely diet. A lot of stuff that is more convenient. This is my general synopsis. A lot of stuff that's more convenient for you, generally speaking, is going to have some repercussions down the line, right? Especially if it's going to turn to sugar in your body, which it may not cause arthritis, but endonitis means inflammation in your body. So arthritis, inflammation of the joints. And if you're consuming a lot of sugar, which a lot of younger people are consuming so much sugar now, that could be it.
They don't know it's sugar, like the Cheetos and different things. We all like to, it's all about balance, but you look at the ingredients and it's supposed to be salty, but it has sugar in it. You can't taste the sugar.
Yeah, you know what they're doing? They're what did they call it? They call it the perfect, the sweet spot. They call it the sweet spot. And what the sweet spot is that the food industry is looking for that perfect balance between salt and sugar to satisfy you when you taste something. Like everything is done for a reason. Like if you say, oh, this is so good, it's a reason why. So why you may not realize it's more sugar in it because it's sweet is because they added more salt and they're trying to get that whole thing. One reason why that when you get a hamburger, I don't eat beef like that, but when people buy hamburgers, it has a pickle. They're trying to, everything is calculated. They want that bun there. They want that patty. We hope it's beef. They want that patty there. They put the ketchup, like ketchup is sweet. They put the mustard kind of tart. They put the pickle, right? Because it's certain things that satisfy you. So if they can put that all in one thing and you eat it, you're going to want more of it.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
Makes sense. It's deep. It's all deep. We can get deep with everything.
Okay. But we're going to keep it light for y'all. Because this is everyday life.
Yes, everyday life.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing today is going to show up 5 to 10 years from now.
Yeah. And like they say, every 7 years, we shed our complete ourselves. So every 7 years, we're a totally different person. So you take that 7 times whatever. So when you're 14, you think about that with puberty. You think about 21, you know, and then 28. You think about those steps at what age you were at that time. You kind of do feel like a renewing. Like you think of, because I'm like, oh boy, I'm about to be renewed again, because this the year for me to be renewed coming up. And so you think about it. It is true. I believe that. I believe that every 7 years.
Oh, that's interesting. One of my programs is called Renew. I didn't really think about it like that, but that's basically what you're doing. Come on and get renewed.
Yep.
Just saying, but even with facial products, right? Who doesn't want to be renewed? We all want that glowy skin, taunt. I'm working on my taunt. LaVelle knows all about that. I have to tell y'all after, because before is just, yeah. But everybody wants that. Women do more, you know. That's why we will buy all these products, you know. We try to get the natural one as possible. That's LaVelle's expertise, so I usually ask her
yeah,
and go from there.
Get that. There's so much on the market, and it's very hard, but you got to look at the ingredients. It's going to be very hard to understand, because a lot of them, there are some alcohols that are good for your skin, and there's some that are not good for the skin, that will dry out your skin. So, and you want to make sure that you're not using toxic products. So it's important. Like I said, stay tuned. I'm hoping, you know, working on something for that, but and understanding, it's going to be hard to understand pH, because you're not going to really see pH. pH is not going to be listed on your products for the most part. Corporations are not going to do that. The best thing to do is your skin therapist, if you do have a question about that, your skin therapist should be able to break down everything for you. So
that will be Ask LaVelle.
Oh yeah.
Ask her. I'm just saying, the platform, y'all can ask questions below. She's gonna have her contact information as well.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time. People are starting to go back a little bit, but they're still at home or working from home, and you might have some breakouts from the mask. Look at the first video to get more information about that.
Right.
But you know, it could be stress. You know, let know.
Yeah. It's internal stress. Yep. You just don't know how your body is trying to protect. Basically, all breakouts is basically against thin from the gut, and it's trying to protect yourself. Anytime you have breakouts, your body's trying to protect itself. It's just a reaction from that. So it's just, we want to try to calm all that inflammation down. And it's so important just to what you put on the inside, and also what you put on the outside penetrates your skin as well. So it's important. There are some products that, as a professional, I know myself, I make sure that I studied all the ingredients, talked to reps for the products that I did use, making sure the combinations worked and not being toxic. And I do feel personally that's why it's important to use professional products. And there's one, I don't want to get too deep, but there's a couple of products that, when you do have PIH, which is inflammation, I can't talk today, hyperpigmentation, where you're going to have dark spots, but to relieve that, you're going to have to either get a peel or get some type of lightening with that, just in those areas. Not talking about bleaching the skin, none of that, because we're not about that life. But it's important that those, you're on that for a short period of time. If you're going to a dermatologist, you want to make sure, because dermatologists, not all of them, but some of them will have you on certain products for life almost, and that's not good for your liver or kidneys. So it's just important.
Can we go deeper into that, like on a different episode, as far as different peels? Because I know, like, I have some information from you because I ask you a ton of questions all the time, but I just feel like it's a lot of people who don't know. I had somebody, remember I was telling you, she was going to get a peel, or they'll have a different idea of what a peel is.
Yeah, I remember.
They may not know if it's right for their particular skin,
Mm-hmm, I
more
remember.
melanin or less melanin.
Yes, I
Or
remember
if
that.
they're doing like microdermabrasion
Yes.
and things like that.
Right. Oh yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay.
And you can also tell us like if a peel, and another one is gonna tighten your skin.
Right.
That- That's an inside
I
joke.
can break all of those down for sure. I will do that.
Tighten your skin at different areas. Okay.
I am
But
done. I'm done. Yes, that would be fun. Yes. That's
okay.
my thing. So yeah. So that sounds
Yeah.
good. So yeah, so that sounds good. We had a good one. I've enjoyed this. I mean, this is so
Too.
much fun. I'm enjoying this. We break it down, and we could just keep going and going. But we'll save, like Cami mentioned, we'll save those for future episodes. So again, like she mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We will respond back to you. If you are in the premiere, we'll respond back to you live. If not, make sure we'll leave the contact information for you to reach out to us individually, and we will answer you back. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.